Hello again, everybody. I am out in the shop and I am going to be constructing a crab for my daughter Abby, or as we call her, Crabs, Crabigail, and for good reason, because we love her. And so this is going to be the body of the crab. Cut these out of 1/8" steel, cut off a couple of wrenches, tried to bend this into a little bit of a shell, and then what this is going to look like is something like this. As you can probably can't see, my arm's in the way, but these will be the claws. These will be the eyes stuck to the top. I just need to find some legs and get that all put together. So it's a work in progress. I'm going to use bolts, I think, for the legs. I'll end up shaping those, bending them, cutting them, just so they fit and look nice. But that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to start sorting through this stuff, and we'll get the legs put together, and we'll get back to you when I have the legs ready to go. I decided before I would work on the legs, I wanted to get the body shaped a little bit better. So that means working on the grinder here. As you can see, it's sort of precarious. It's a homemade grinder stand that I made, but it works really well, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. But as you can see, I'm just taking the edges off, making it smooth, and basically getting it ready to be welded, so I don't have to try and do that when it's all put together. It goes pretty well. For at one point you'll see that the top here, as I start doing that, it's got a bend in it, so it makes it a little more difficult and a little more precarious, or I should say a little more dangerous. And as you see, when I a little bit further down the road here, it will catch an edge and fly up, and I end up catching it, but it's a dangerous situation. These are dangerous power tools, so you should always be careful. Just don't let my wife see that. Anyway, we'll get back to it here shortly. This is almost figured out, and we'll get going on the legs. I also decided to buff the edges of it, make it clean so no one gets cut on it. So that's what I'm doing here, just buffing it out so the edges are nice and clean, and I can take off some of the little bits and pieces from the big grinder. So this is just like a small buffing pad that's sort of cleaning things up a little bit. So I'm going to do that to the top and the bottom, and we'll go from there. All right, as you can see, we're going to do a little welding. We're going to do some MIG welding. We're going to weld the claws onto the top body so I can get the legs set up. And I can't really do the legs until I get the claws in place and probably the lower body on. So I'm going to start with getting these claws going. So without further ado, let's get these things in place. I don't have a specific plan, so I'm just sort of winging this. Maybe I should get a magnet and put these things in place. So maybe I'll do that. Let's see here. I've got some magnets over here, some little ones. problem is I gotta have this sort of elevated, not that much, to get this claw to lay flat, like that. So maybe I'll just have to hold that down a little bit. Something like that, maybe. And this will be something like that. All right, well, we're going to tack it and see how it goes. So here we go. Okay. It's one tack. I could probably take this magnet off. The smaller claw. I think that'll work. Okay. So it almost has little eyeballs there. That's what those look like. So maybe, I think that looks pretty good. So I'll probably do a couple more beads just to keep these from falling off. Okay. Now, all that'll grind off. You won't see that. But we got our claws started. So that's good. Now we can start working on the legs. All right. I am going to bend some legs here for the crab. These two long bolts here are going to be the long legs. I need to bend them to make them look like crab legs. So we're going to heat them up and we'll go from there. As you know, using heat on metal makes it a little more pliable. So I won't have to kill myself trying to bend these things. Try and make them the same as much as possible. There we go. So now we'll grab those with my bare hand. No, we're not going to do that. That's going to sit there for a while. And I can work on the other legs. Okay, we're going to tack some legs on real quick. I need to get my helmet on here. So we're going to do these three real quick, and then we'll flip it over and do the other three. Just a quick tack.
Okay. All right, that's that side. We're going to do this side. Make sure I do them the same way. Get the magnet against the side so I have the same distance. Try to get the same angles here. Oh, wrong way. Things like to move around a little bit. Let me see here. All right, so I'm going to tack these and then I can move them around a little bit. So we're going to get started. Level. All right, now all we have to do is the larger legs that I bent. And those should be cooling down here. Maybe I'll go throw them in the snow. But those will be sort of bigger legs out the front because they'll have a bend in them and sort of look different. Not bad. All right. All right, we got you over here on the drill press. And I'm going to drill a couple of holes so I can do something called a puddle weld. This is a little uneven, so we're going to take it easy. This is for the eyeballs. All right, so actually I'm not going to do a puddle weld. I'm just scoring the surface to make a couple of dents. That way the metal has something to bond to when I weld it. So when I put the eyeballs in there, it'll have a better grip so they won't fall off. All right, we're going to weld the eyeballs on. Going to have them sort of crooked a little bit, sort of like a crab really would be. But we'll see how this goes. Hopefully they stay in place. Okay, first tack is done. Second eyeball. We'll end up tacking these some more, but I just want to get them in place here. I want them to be sort of natural, like a crab, sort of look in different directions type of thing. That might work. Let's see if we can get that to hold. All right, that'll work. So there's the crab. It's getting there. So now I got to get the body and the other legs on. The body is going to be separated, something like that. Still trying to figure that part out. So, work in progress. Keep going. All right, here we go on the front legs. I think you can see that. Here we go. Gonna have to bend those down a little bit. That'll work. Just got to bend them a little bit. Let's get the rest of the tack done. All right, that should hold while I'm bending it. On to the next step. Okay. Now I'm going to weld the body on. I got that file stuck in there as a separator because I want a little gap, like he's got a big open mouth. So I'm going to weld the back end here and see if we can be successful with this. I think I'm going to stick with that for now. Well, I think I got to go a little more this way to make it level. Okay. I just need to get the file out. It's a little too hot yet, so we're going to let that cool down. I'll get the file out, then we'll grind that up, and then it'll be ready for some sort of paint. But tacked pretty good. That's my crab. We'll get this file out and we'll move forward. Okay, it's cooled off a little bit, got the file out. I'm going to use a small buffer on it to see if I can, what that looks like. I think it's going to take a little more sanding, but I'm going to try the buffer on it real quick. I sort of like that scallop look. It almost looks crabby. So I might not grind that down. Just sort of buff it up and see how it goes. All right, there's the crab. It's got some cosmetics to go on it yet, but we'll get that done and probably do one more video to top it off. All right, this is the completed project. Took me about an hour or so, I think. But as you can see, it's just ready for paint. Like I said, that scallop on the back looks sort of crabbish, but it sits nice and level. And I think she's going to like it. I just got to paint it up, and I don't know, sort of fun. So thanks for watching.